Merry Christmas, everybody. It's time for a Christmas Eve review. I already reviewed Black Christmas. Check out this awesome shirt. Love it. A couple years ago, and I just finished reviewing the rest of the Silent Night Daily Night franchise. Did 1 and 2 a couple years ago, and I did 3, 4, and 5 this month. So check out all those reviews and check out my ranking. I just uploaded for that the other day. And right now, I'm currently going through the Return of the Living Dead franchise. So check out my 1 through 4 reviews that I have uploaded right now, and I will get to part 5 next week. So, and look forward to my New Year's Eve review. I'm going to do a special review for New Year's Eve as well. So, let's talk about Christmas Evil, the movie that is a cult classic. It is a beloved movie. From some. John Waters loves this movie. This was a first time watch for me. And plot synopsis: a toy factory worker, mentally scarred as a child upon learning Santa Claus is not real, suffers a nervous breakdown after being belittled at work and embarks on a Yuletide killing spree. Now, this stars Jeffrey DeMunn and Brandon Maggart as the main guy here who's playing Santa. And let's get into the things that I like about the movie. First up, I really was getting some Black Christmas vibes every now and then with the score. Not throughout the movie, but there was just a couple little moments that sounded like Black Christmas's score, like with the low keys on the piano. And I just really liked the score overall, so lots of Christmas songs, lots of characters just humming Christmas songs and singing. This movie really does feel like the holiday throughout, and I really like that in my Christmas movies. If it can, feel like it's actually the holiday, because recently I just went through like Silent Night, Daily Night 4, which barely had, and it had nothing to do with the holiday, and it had almost none of the aesthetic of Christmas. No attempt at making that movie feel like it's a Christmas movie at all, which is a little bit of a bummer. I mean, I like my Christmas movies to look and feel like the holiday. I like there to be snow and some, Christmas atmosphere, and this does have it. Although some of the snow is really fake at times, especially towards the end. It's actually kind of laughable when the guy starts like rolling down the hill, and you can see like the blanket of snow that they put down like start to crumple. I had a good laugh at that, but I really like the feel of the movie, like the Christmas aesthetic. It's kind of gritty too. It's it's kind of a dirty Christmas movie, but it's still got all kinds of decor and decorations everywhere, people singing. So I really like that it lets you know what holiday it is from beginning to end. It doesn't ever let up, and I think this main actor is fantastic as this psychopathic killer. Like even before he dons the Santa outfit, before he snaps and after he officially snaps, like he's just great. And he's actually kind of terrifying once he's Santa. Like he's just got this stare. He gets like real dirty, and I really like his performance as the Santa. And what I really like about his character too, that they didn't really do much of in Silent Night Daily Night, which was kind of a missed opportunity, is that this guy like legit thinks he's Santa Claus. Like he is watching all the townspeople, the children especially, making lists, like the good boy list and the bad boy. Like he has these big old books in his apartment, and he's like writing everyone's names down, like what they do, like how their hygiene is, or how they're, if they're using profanity, shit like that. And he's got binoculars, he's spying on them, and he's like delivering like bags of dirt or something to bad kids. And he thinks he's Santa. He like decorates his van as like a sleigh. He paints a sleigh on the side of his van. And when he's driving around, he's pretend like whipping the reindeer. On Dash and Vixen, whatever. I don't know the reindeer names. Never knew them. Never cared. But whatever those names are, Rudolph. I know Rudolph. He's like saying the names as he's like pretend whipping. And even though he's not actually holding a physical whip, they insert the sound effect of the whip snapping, which was just pretty hilarious. And the kills aren't gory or anything. This is 1980. This is the same year as Friday the 13th, which I think started the trend of gore in like American slasher movies. Not this, but Friday the 13th and Maniac really kind of started the whole gore trend, I think. This, is before that trend, so this one doesn't have the gore, but on the positive side of the kills, I like that the kills are going with the theme of Christmas. Like he uses a Christmas tree star. He uses like a nutcracker thing, like a little toys that he's making for kids that he can also use as weapons to take people out. So I like all that stuff. I thought that was cute. Um, so yeah, outside all that stuff, I mean, I heard some people complain about the pacing, so this movie might be a little boring for some, but I didn't find any pacing issues at all. Like, it all flew by for me. I was enjoying it 100%. So as for the things I could nitpick here is, I don't know, I just find it kind of hard to believe that what happens in the opening is what makes this guy, grow up to be who he becomes. Like, it made him snap. Like, his, traumatic experience as a kid was seeing Santa, who was, his dad, like, grope his mom. Like, he was, like, sniffing her leg or some shit. And then he just runs upstairs and starts cutting himself. He's a cutter. And then he grows up to be this psychopath. Like, that's it? That's all that it took to make this guy snap? I don't know. I'm not buying what they're selling. Like, they could have really did some messed up things to this kid to make me believe more that he became like a psychopath. I just wasn't understanding how this opening caused him to be this crazy person, just unstable, socially awkward, just because he saw his dad, like, Eskimo kissing his mom's leg. Like, I don't know what he was doing down there. Maybe it was a censored version and there was more there and I didn't see it, but I don't think this was censored at all. So explain that opening scene to me. Like, was the dad doing anything to the mom? It looked like he was just, like, Eskimo kissing her leg. He wasn't, like, sticking a finger up. Nothing at all. But that made him go cut himself, and then, like, years later, he wants to be Santa now, and he's fucking crazy. I'm not buying it. And, there's some writing issues. There's little things that are a little silly, and, like, when the townsfolks all of a sudden, they all have torches and shit. It's like, really? Come on. Where did they get that? And realistically speaking, this guy would have been busted a lot sooner. Everybody saw his van. It's the most unique van in town. I don't think the town's that big. I mean, I think it's in New York, or it's like the outskirts of New York City, so maybe it would be hard to find him, but I just feel like he would have gotten busted a lot sooner. But these are nitpicks. These aren't major things that hold the film back. I'm just like, that could have been done better. Like, oh, that's unrealistic. But I really enjoyed the movie overall. I have hardly anything negative to say. It's goreless. I would prefer some gore in my slasher, although this is more of a character study. And then once it gets towards the second half, the later, like, third, it becomes a little bit more of a slasher. There's not that high of a body count. But the kills we do get are kind of cool. The one mixed thing, and I can't really go too much in detail right now because I'm trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, is the ending. Like, a lot of people love it, but I think it's a little divisive because it takes the movie in a different direction. It makes it something completely different. I have no idea how to interpret it, or, like, I don't know. We'll get there towards the end, but I was not that crazy about the ending. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't like it at the same time, and I'll explain why later on. But final thoughts, I think that this is a great Christmas, slasher-ish movie to watch. It's not going to have gore or nudity, anything like that other slashers have, but this is a, atmospheric, very fun Christmas character study of a horror movie that I really enjoyed. So when it comes to Christmas Evil, if you haven't seen this classic, check it out, go out and buy it. Alright, let's get more in depth with this review. Let's talk about the film. Alright, so we open up, it's 1947. This kid sees Santa come down the chimney. And the way it's edited, it makes it look like his dad supernaturally just, like, appeared out of thin air, and, like, when he leaves, he, like, blinks out of existence, and so do they on the staircase. Did I see that wrong? But I think this is just, like, his interpretation. Like, this is what the kid's seeing. We're kind of looking through his eyes. Like, he believes this is Santa, so he, like, sees him, like, blink out of existence. Something like that. It's been a couple days since I've seen the movie, so maybe I'm misremembering how that scene played out. But then he sneaks back downstairs and sees his mom, with Santa, his dad, and he's just, like, rubbing his face on her thigh, and she's, like, moaning, like, oh, yeah, I guess she just gets off on beards on her leg. It just feels good to her. I don't know. Nothing really happened there, but that was enough to make him run upstairs, break something, and, like, cut his own hand on a snow globe. And then we flash forward to present day, not 1980, present day. So it's 2020, and this guy looks like he's in his, like, 40s. Bullshit. Why do they say present day? It's just ridiculous. Don't say present day. You know what year it is, 1980. All right. So then we see right away that this guy is a little cuckoo. Like, he's got binoculars, he's on the roof, he's spying on kids, he's writing shit down, like, oh, Billy's looking at Playboy. I just thought all that stuff was great. I love all that stuff. Like, that's something that you could have had in, like, Silent Night, Deadly Night, you know? Like, even the chimney thing. Like, later on in this movie, like, he uses a chimney, but he fails because he can't fit. And it's funny. He's just, like, trying to squeeze in there. I mean, that's a gag that's been in other Christmas movies that aren't really horror, but that's something that they could have done in Silent Night, Deadly Night, like with Linnea Quigley, that scene. That's how he could have attacked her. Like, he could have went down a chimney and then started to kill Linnea. You know, I think that was a missed opportunity right there. But loved seeing that in this film. So, yeah, then he's at work, he's the geek at work, everyone picks on him, you know, they call him a schmuck behind his back, and he hears them talking shit, and then they sucker him into taking their shifts. He works at a toy factory, just like Peter Griffin, and this job looks absolutely awful, boring, just standing in front of a conveyor belt, just like snapping heads onto toys again and again and again. Just the most repetitive job in the world, although I think most jobs are repetitive. So, yeah, but still, like, this job, fuck that. He's got Peter Griffin's job. And these toys that they're selling are awful, and I'm glad that he addresses that. He's like talking to the boss, the higher ups, like, these are shit. It's like, yeah, they are. And I like that he's like making the Christmas outfit, like, you know, the Grinch, when he makes his own outfit, and he's like painting the van with the sleigh and shit, which I already talked about. But and then he like goes and he's like watching his brother have sex with his wife. Or was that his brother, or was it just a random person? I feel like that was his brother, and he's like watching them make love. And it looks like they live in the same house that they lived in as a kid. Is that the same house? Again, it's been a couple of days since I've watched it. I can't remember. Then we hear something that really ages the film, and it made me laugh out loud. So they're at this like party or something, and there's a TV in the background, and it's playing, and it took me by surprise. I had like rewind. I was like, did I just hear that? So there's like a TV ad for like a hospital of like sick children and mentally handicapped children, and they're like, you know, donate $1 to these retarded kids. Retarded, like, like, did that actually exist at one point? Like, commercials back then just saying retard, like, help these retards, give us $1, we'll help this retard right here. Like, wow, you would never see that commercial today. That is just ridiculous. And why did he go to that one kid's house and just start putting mud on his face? I had no idea what the hell he was doing there. He just puts mud on his face and like makes a face on the wall, like an imprint, you know. I have no idea what his intentions are there, but the one scene that does drag in this movie, and I get it's for like tension reasons, they're trying to build like some suspense here, is with the kid when he looks at the bush and he thinks that, you know, he saw something, which any kid realistically, if he thought that he saw something moving in the bush, would be like hightailing it out of there. But this kid walks like in slow motion for a whole minute towards the bush, very slowly, like painfully slowly. You're like, come on, get to the damn bush. That's the only scene in the movie that really dragged for me. But yeah, so I'm not sure what the Mudface thing was. And it looked like he was taking gifts from his nephews. He went to his brother's house, and he's got like a butcher knife, and he's cutting open gifts. He like chops off the heads off of a couple of toys that came from his factory. And he laughs about it, like, these, I don't care, these toys are shit. But then he's also like giving them gifts too at the same time. So he's like giving and taking. I'm not sure what he was doing there. He's like destroying toys very loudly, and no one can hear him. There's quite a few heavy sleepers in this movie. We'll get to that scene, the heaviest sleeper of them all. So then, like, you know, he gets pissed off. He hears his coworkers talking shit about him. And I think that's what makes him snap. Like, he's been doing this every year, the whole writing books of naughty or nice. But this is the year that he officially snaps for some reason. I think it's just because of how he's being treated at the company or something. So he goes to this hospital to drop off gifts, and they have like an 80-year-old, just frail security guard working there. Like, bullshit. Like, how is that guy gonna protect your hospital? It makes me laugh all the time when you see like these 90-year-old looking security guards with like the hunchback. They're getting so old that they're shrinking. It's like, you hire that guy to protect those kids. So he goes to this church and he just kills 3 random people outside of the church, which I like. Pretty cool close-up shots of the gore here, like the eye being stabbed, like a Fulci film. So good stuff there. But it's like, who are these people? Like, they're just random people. He just went to the church. It looked like he had a whole different plan in mind, but he just kind of had to improvise in the moment. Like, I can't get to these people up there. Like, it looked like his boss was there and he was after him. But then these other 3 people kind of got in the way and they were like talking shit to him, making fun of the fact that he's dressed as Santa. So he's like stabbing them in the face, and he gets like a tomahawk and he's hacking them in the face. And I also love that no one helped. I mean, when he's killing these 3 people, there's like 20 people right behind them on the steps that could have easily intervened somehow. But, no one likes to help. And it's believable because you see all these videos that come out today where, people just take videos of people getting their ass kicked and you're like, why aren't you helping? So even back then, before cell phones with video cameras, people just sat back and watched people get hacked up. Like, it's one guy. All 20 of you could have tackled him. So, yeah, then he's doing the reindeer thing. He's, like, whipping them as he's driving away. And they saw his van. And his van has a sleigh painted on it. They didn't call the cops and, like, describe the van. They would have found that thing so quickly. Like, he just goes a few miles down the road and he goes to some other random Christmas party. And he's there for a good while. He's just driving all around town and no one's finding him. It's like, bullshit. And then we get this really weird scene, just the way it's done. It makes no sense. Like, so he bumps into these kids in this alley, like this, wherever it is. And then the parents are scared of him because they've been hearing on the news about the 3 murders at the church. And they're like telling their kids, like, get away from Santa. So then the one dad steps in with like a switchblade. And then when the daughter is like attacking him, like, no, don't stab Santa. And he's like, no, I'm trying to protect you. The wife comes in and is like hitting on the husband, like, no, stop. And like smacks the switchblade out of his hands. Like, he's protecting your daughter. Like, that's their kid. And she's like smacking on him. It made no sense. What the hell's going on there? Like, he's trying to protect their kid and the wife's being ballistic and just ridiculous. Smacking the knife at, like, did she think that he was going to stab his own daughter for no fucking reason? I have no idea what the hell's going through her mind, but she's being ridiculous. I just love how he goes from, like, murdering 3 people to dancing and hanging out with kids and all these adults at a Christmas party, like nothing just happened, like it never happened. He just goes to a party, he's dancing, talking to kids, like, be nice. And if you're bad, I'll do something evil, like, and then just like nervous laughter in the audience. Like, I love that scene. He just goes from being evil to being nice and then starts being evil again. He goes to his coworker's house and smothers him with the bag of toys that he stole from the factory. He broke all the other toys at the factory. Like, this shit's garbage. He turns on all the belts, lets them all fall on the ground and break. Like, we don't need to sell this crap. Yeah, he's like smothering him with the bag of toys. The wife is sound asleep, and he's like struggling. The toys, I'm sure, are making noise as he's pressing down on it. I mean, these are squeaky toys and shit that's probably going off. She doesn't hear a damn thing. And then finally, he just grabs a Christmas star, slits his throat wide open, and then when he lands on the wife, that's when she wakes up. And I like that she's like so scared that she can't even scream. She's like Laurie Strode in Halloween 2 towards the end when she's on the ground outside the hospital. She's like, and then, like, as he leaves, that's when she screams in the background. You hear her screaming, like she finally gets it out. That's realistic. Like, that actually happens. Like, people get so scared that they can't react. They just freeze up, and their vocal cords just, they won't allow them to scream. They can't make noise. They're just so scared. They can't do shit. So, and then there's, like, this Santa lineup, and they brought in this guy who looks like he's 7 feet tall. It's like, I'm pretty sure those 20 eyewitnesses would let you know that the killer is not 7 feet tall. He's average height. So they brought in a 7 foot tall guy. Like, maybe he's the culprit. No. And so, yeah, he causes the mess at the factory. And then there's a lynch mob created right after that whole scene with the weird mom hitting on the husband. Like, right after that, it's like, boom, lynch mob. Everyone's got torches. There's like 4 people in that scene. And then the next scene, there's like 20 plus people, and they all got torches. Like, where do they find the material to make these torches? Like, they just got torches ready in their houses. Like, run in, grab your torch, the one you keep next to. No one has a torch standing by, ready to go. So, yeah, then, like, he gets to his brother's house, and his brother goes from, like, that day saying, like, on the phone, like, I'm worried sick about you, acting like he cares about his brother. He goes from that to strangling his brother as soon as he arrives at his house. Like, I know what you did. And he's, like, strangling him. And does he think that his brother is dead when he does strangle him? Like, he strangles him to the point of being unconscious. He's not dead. But does he think he's dead, or does he think he's unconscious? But he drags his body to his van, and if he thinks he's dead, what's he going to do? Like, tell the cops, like, oh my God, you'll never believe it. My brother just drove to my house and strangled himself in his van in my driveway. It's crazy. It's like, no one's going to buy that story. So I have no idea what's going through his mind. But if he thought he was just unconscious, then why did he drag him to his van? That scene makes no sense. It's just for him to get a quick, easy getaway, punches his brother out cold, drives off. The Lynch Mob is still after him with the torches. They're being morons. Like, these people believe that this guy is the killer Santa and that he's killed people and has, no remorse, just a heartless bastard who's willing to kill, and they're going to run out in front of him? Like, he's behind the wheel. He's going to run your ass down. Like, they're being stupid. They're, like, almost running out in front of the car with their torches. They're being stupid. But this is when the movie gets supernatural all of a sudden. Like, he drives off the, like, bridge or something, and his van goes flying across the sky like it's an actual sleigh. Like, that paint, was it magic paint? Did he say some spell or some shit? I have no idea. Like, and you can't say, like, oh, well, you see, it was just in his mind, just like in the opening with Santa being real and disappearing in the blink of an eye. Like, no, this is not like his interpretation of events. Like, when he is flying in the air, it's not like it's just him seeing it and him living it. Like, this is what he's thinking before he dies or something and plummets and blows up like all cars do when they crash in movies back in the day. No, like, his brother, who he just knocked out cold, quickly wakes up, runs down the street, sees his brother drive off the bridge or whatever, and he looks up. He's seen the van fly in the air. Like, so it's not just in, like, Harry's mind. His brother sees it too. So he is really Santa this whole time? Or he just became officially Santa? Like, I have no idea how to interpret. Like, I feel like I could analyze this for a half hour and come up with different ideas about how and why this is happening, but I'm not going to waste your time. But yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, I liked how grounded the movie was, except for the torches and shit, but the movie was very grounded. It was just a guy who snapped. And then in the last second of the film, it's like, nope, this is a supernatural-ish movie where he really is Santa Claus. He is real. Like, his van is now the DeLorean and Back to the Future, like, in part 2. But we don't need roads where we're going. It's bullshit. In his case, we don't need reindeer with my sleigh. It was ridiculous. Like, really, now his van can fly. I didn't really care for that much. Some people love it because of how weird and silly it is, which I like how silly it is too, but I don't like it because it took away from the grounded, feel of the movie. Now it's like supernatural all of a sudden. So, yeah, those are my thoughts though on Christmas Evil. What did you think about this movie? Put all of your thoughts of it in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like what you've seen, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Merry Christmas.